The challenge with seed investing, and frankly, like I think all investing, the turnover, the amount of time that it takes to figure out if you're picking good companies, and then to
Yeah,
further deduce, like, am I a good investor?
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
really long.
yeah.
How do you deal with the challenge that you can't just like sit and wait for years to have an answer on that question?
Um, I think a lot of people, I like the way you asked that. I think a lot of people I know struggle with that. It's like the long feedback loop. They want to know if they're on the right track. I always use this example, like if you've ever had a friend that went to law school. A lot of these law schools are like, well, pay us some money. You can go to class if you want. You can do the reading if you want, but you got to show up for the final exam and write your final exam. And so I remember having a friend in college who was brilliant, who literally wouldn't go to class, would read on his own, and then just ace all his exams because he was a savant, you know? Here in venture, like, you don't even know at the Series B. So if you seed a company, like I'm thinking of one company we seeded in the last 4 years that went to like a quick Series B, nobody around the company knows whether it'll be successful or not. So, the outcomes are random. The inflection points happen at different times. And so for me, I've thought about like, what can you control and what is out of your control? And I think there are very specific things that we as seed investors, I'm just speaking for a small seed fund, can control, right? Is like, how many names do you put in the portfolio that give yourself a shot to catch one or two or three of these big things? Number two is, what's your fund size relative to the ownership and check size you can write? Because there's some relationship there. So can you keep your fund size small and write bigger checks? Which is kind of a sweet spot. And then I think the third thing is like the deal geometry in the basket. So it's like, can you control your median entry price? Can you control your median entry ownership, so that if something catches, you give yourself a chance to like drive multiples? Because it could take 2 or 3 rounds before you even get the skeleton, like flesh around the skeleton of like what the company could be.